Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, August 3rd at 12:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or no, Eastern Daytime, sorry. And today we are going to be watching the launch of the Intelsat Galaxy 37 mission. Currently, we are waiting for SpaceX to start their stream, and everything is going nominal. Currently, everything is going well with the fueling procedures, and everything is nominal. Sorry, I think my mic, you might hear it. Today, the booster will be landing on, just read the instructions, around 660 kilometers away from the East Coast. And the weather is currently 90% go for launch. I think. That's what I read at last. Here, let me fact check it on my iPad. Yeah. Yeah, it's 90% go for launch as of a few days ago. But currently everything is going good because SpaceX started their stream, and they never do that if nothing's going good or if something's not going good. Whilst I'm on the page, I will tell you some more things. Yes, I was right. 663 kilometers downrange on just read the instructions. The fairing halves will be recovered by the ship Bob, because they named two of the fairing recovery ships Bob's and Doug, or Bob and Doug, because Bob was one of the astronauts on their first test, and Doug was another one. So yeah. So Bob is going to recover them 760 kilometers downrange, and yeah. This will be the 53rd launch for SpaceX in 2023. If they continue on this track, they should have around 80 to 90 launches this year, which is a new record. Last year, SpaceX hit their own PR, and SpaceX is starting their stream. I'm going to let you listen in.
9, 8,
launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed. Dragon separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Hello and welcome to Space.
And we are currently what am I trying to do? I cannot speak. We are currently 13 minutes away from launch of the Falcon 9. Everything's going good, and as I was saying, they beat their own personal record last year. I think the news was that the Soviets outclassed them with their like multiple different launch places and the space race and everything. They like hit 60 one year, but this year they're already, even if there like is a failure, God forbid, they would still keep pushing to an amount that they would smash the record. I feel like, because SpaceX likes to bounce back from failures. I don't know if you could tell. Anyway, the next major milestone is engine chill, which you can see on the diagram on your screen, which I have to go on my spiel each time I do a stream. Engine chill is the act of putting some of the cryogenic propellants into the engine, because we know that engines get really, really hot in some places, but they also get really, really cold. So what they do is they pump some portion of the fuel into the engines and cool them down and get them ready for full flow of the fuel. Sorry, my brain's lagging tonight. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Of course, no one's watching right now, but I know people watch these streams over. Someone else is watching. Dot dot dot. Hello there. Hello there, whoever is watching. Yeah, I'm looking at our previous what am I trying to say? Our previous analytics, and it looks like people do in fact watch our things. Yay! Hello there, whoever's there. I'm gonna let you listen to their ad. I totally forgot that that's what I usually am doing.
Pacific Ocean. That Ku-band mission is actually a joint venture between Intelsat and GSAT.
The H-4 Ku-band payload will provide continuity for our mobility, network, and U.S. government customers and will be owned jointly by Intelsat and JSAT International, the U.S.-owned subsidiary of SkyPerfect JSAT Corp.
The relationship between Intelsat and JSAT is a very,
Sorry,
very
I
important.
just
We,
was
JSAT,
checking my
mainly
streaming
our
software and it
customer
won't
is
let me
very
go back now.
However, emphasizing such a relationship with Intelsat, we can strengthen the name value in overseas.
JSAT has been a very trusted partner of Intelsat over the years, starting with Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3, and now Horizon 4 joint venture. So we're extremely pleased to be working with JSAT over the years.
The Falcon 9 vehicle.
Oh, bleh. Okay. So, the next major milestone, like I said, was engine chill, and that occurs in about 2 minutes. After that is strong back retract, where that thing with the clamps behind the vehicle will open up its big clamps and tilt back a few degrees before launch. It tilts back so that its big clamps, at least, will get out of the way of the rocket, while the smaller clamps will stay there attached until fueling is complete and subsequential liftoff. That's the word. I was looking for subsequential liftoff. At liftoff, they disconnect quickly and get out of the way of the rocket. The reason that the big clamps open up is so that it can throw itself back like 40 degrees at launch so that it can not get burnt up by the forces of 1,000,000 pounds of thrust. My brain is lagging. Thank you to whoever's watching. I'm always lonely on these streams. They're not saying anything in chat, but I'm not too mad about that. I know someone's watching. Yay! I think since we have some time to kill, I should give you an interesting fact about the rocket. That vapor is because the fuel is so cold that it's actually condensing the water in the humid Florida atmosphere. So, because it's that cold, if you were to just touch your hand against the rocket for just a moment, your hand would literally freeze, like get frostbite. And engine chill has started. Hold on, what? And those main little water geysers turned on. I always wondered exactly what stage those turned on because there's like 3 levels. There's those boys, and then those boys, and then some boys that are really powerful. Currently, we are waiting for strong back retract. And that is the next major milestone. Oh, look. It's another time that the guy is speaking and we're not listening to him. Oh, local time where I'm doing this from is about 1 a.m. So I am absolutely. Hey, you better cry to everyday astronaut days. Hey, I've seen an animation before very similar to that. Everyday astronaut. I don't know if Everyday Astronaut was the OP of it, but I think he was. So hopefully SpaceX credits him for that diagram. Because SpaceX did or SpaceX basically copied that same diagram from Everyday Astronaut. Unless he copied it from someone else. I don't know. I know it's not their original idea. That's all I'm saying. Hey, SpaceX. God, I'm like itching really bad from my sunburn. Currently 5 minutes away from launch. Everything is going nominal. The rocket is ready for liftoff. I was trying to say something else, but then my brain lagged again. Range is ready to support, and so far weather is go. Coming up here in just momentarily, a strong back retract. And the water's back on. It like pulses on and off. And strong back retract has started. Lord, I'm tired. Currently 4 minutes away from launch, and yet again, every status is go. At T-3 minutes, stage 1, which is this part of the rocket, will be done with liquid oxygen loading. And then the second stage will be done at T-2 minutes, and then you will see a final cloud come out from the strong back. That's just it purging all of the liquid oxygen, so there's not a buildup and a subsequential explosion in some of the lines. So they just purge it out with some inert gases. I think it's like liquid nitrogen. But currently all the clouds you see is just the rocket venting, so it doesn't like overpressure. Or at least that's that one main vent. Everything else is just because it's cold. And stage 1 liquid oxygen loading is complete. in around 20 seconds or something. Yeah, 20 seconds. Sorry, I'm multitasking real quick, trying to get my other device to work. The stage 2 liquid oxygen loading will be completed. Stage 2 LOX load is complete. T-minus 130, roughly. You're gonna see the vent in just a second. Yep, right there. That's the final vent that I was talking about. So don't get worried. And coming up in 10 seconds is vehicle startup, so I will let you listen in so we can hear whether we're go for launch today or not. Vehicle is in startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
As we just heard, Falcon 9 is in startup, which means the vehicle's internal flight computers have now taken over control of the launch countdown.
SpaceX launch director, go for launch.
Go for launch. That usually is the final go from the LD and final go from really everybody in the crowd or everybody in mission control. Of course, they can still hold up to T-minus 10 seconds in case of an emergency, but after that, it's just up to the rocket to abort, and the rocket half the time is more sensitive than the launch controllers. T-minus 20 seconds. 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of Intelsat G-37 satellites. And it's always weird with no audio, but their audio is always crap. Yeah, that's not rocket audio, that's just muffled audio.
Downrange.
Vehicle switching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressures are normal. Okay, that's enough. Vehicle or next major milestone will be passing through the speed of sound. Well, it's not really like a barrier. It's like, well, it's the speed of sound, just passing that milestone. And then maximum aerodynamic pressure, where they will throttle down the engines because, well, it's maximum aerodynamic pressure that you don't want to blow up in. So vehicle is throttling down for max Q, and vehicle is supersonic. And vehicle has breached maximum dynamic pressure and is throttling back up towards base. Next major milestone now is main engine cutoff, stage separation, and MVAC ignition. Also, I've been meaning to share this with y'all. The other day there was a Cygnus launch. Sorry we weren't streaming, but that's because I was racing down the street from my house because we have a pretty gnarly tree line, and I was able to see the rocket with my naked eye. And yeah, unlike Falcon 9, there is a delay between stage separation on that one rocket and ignition. There was like a cush phase of like 30 seconds or something. I was waiting for NASA spaceflight, and then I realized right before I saw it with my naked eye, like we could see just a tiny bit of plume right before ignition. I was like, wait, they're not, the stream's gonna be delayed, so like while I'm viewing the ignition, they're gonna, or after ignition, way after it, they're gonna be then calling it out. So I was just looking in the direction. I saw it ignite. I was cheering, and then like 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, but like 15 seconds later, I hear them call out second stage engine start. So that's what That's all I was trying to say was there's a latency in streams, and I got to see a rocket, and through all my chitter chatter, we got to Miko. 2 callouts in 1. Stage separation and MVAC ignition. And stage 1 grid fins are opening. Next major milestone is fairing separation, which fairing is the thing that holds the satellite secure during atmospheric flight, but because they're out of the atmosphere, well, you get the point. We don't need them. So coming up in a few moments here is fairing separation. Fairing separation confirmed. Now here's that part of the stream where talk about whatever you want, go to sleep, go take a nap, go fry an egg. Of course this isn't boring, but this is like the least excitement you get during the launch because everything's just coasting. So go do whatever you want. I'm just kidding, don't skip this, it's still a rocket through and through. So as I was saying earlier, I saw the rocket with my naked eye, and we were like waiting between the coast phases and everything. So that was a really cool experience, and I know I was chatting too much about it, but from where I am on the East Coast, it was right in that sweet spot that I was able to see it. So that's why I love Virginia launches at night because I know where to look now. Yay! I know where to go. My family just needs to. The next major milestone is entry burn, which the stage 1 will light 3 of its engines to slow down for the atmosphere. And if you ever wonder why it comes back so sooty, that's because it's a carbon-based fuel, aka kerosene, and it just flies through its own plume. And that's actually cooler than the plasma that you might see build up around it after the entry burn. Because yes, plasma builds up on these things. You can see it at night, especially. Yeah. And stage 1 entry burn has started. 103 engines. Ooh. It looks like, I'm looking at the schedule, it looks like there's going to be 2 back-to-back rockets from Wallops. I guess they're going to be testing something. And there's the plasma right before you saw it cut out because, well, the plasma was blocking the transmission. Yeah, so looks like there's going to be like 2 back-to-back launches, it says, due to some testing, because it says RockSat and Rock On will be launched minutes apart. That's cool. Anyway, time to focus on the stream because this is where high events are, or high energy events are happening. So, next major milestone is second engine cutoff, shortly followed by landing, second engine cutoff. Well, that's the second stage, the engine right there on your screen, it gets cut off. Wow, Callan, you're so smart. So, yeah. And the atmosphere did a lot of work slowing down that booster. Well, because it's the atmosphere. It's gonna do a lot of work without you noticing. And Seco. And at the same time, stage 1 landing burn has begun. And that thing that you just saw fly off one of the stages was not a UFO. It's ice, people. Sorry. Stage 1 landing leg deploy. And Falcon 9 has landed. Landing operators will then go out to the drone ship in a few hours, days, I'm not sure exactly when, and bring it back to Port Canaveral for refurbishing and eventual next flights. You can see that it's doing its after flight venting, and that it's doing a little dripping on the drone ship, which is all expected. So now that everything is kind of chilling down, I'm gonna see what the timeline goes to in a second, just because I want to know if I'm gonna be able to stream this or not. Probably not. Yeah, I guess they're leaving too. Oh no, there's a thing in a few minutes. But
That includes first stage landings for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. Now, the mission isn't over just yet. The second stage is now embarking on its first coast phase. After this coast phase, we will light that MVAC engine for a second time around the T plus 26-minute mark. So we'll see you back here in about 17 minutes.
right, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, cause I gotta catch some of these. I'm sorry. So if you're really that curious on what happens, go follow at SpaceX on Twitter. They'll definitely tell you if everything's successful, or you can always just tune in a few minutes to their stream. So yeah, with that out of the way, thank you for watching and goodbye.